Hello everyone. I decided that this week instead of tarot I would like to cover a topic I know a little bit more about, which is astrology, the astrological natal chart or chart of a moment. The company that produces these charts is Astro.com, which was originally a German website called Astrodienst. You can find it simply under Astro.com, and it will have on its front page the chart of the moment. And that's what this is. This is a wheel within a wheel. The outside wheel is all of the signs you're familiar with: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Within that wheel is a second wheel of the houses, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And those houses belong to each one of the signs. The first house belongs to Aries, the second to Taurus, the third to Gemini, and etc. all the way around to the 12th house, which belongs to Pisces. There is a lot that goes on in an astrological chart, so don't try to look at all of it. I want you to focus on three main things. The most important one is the sun sign. Yes, I drew a cartoon. Hopefully that'll be a good mnemonic for you. The sun is represented by one of the larger circles with a dot. So not one of the smaller figures, but the circle with a dot in the middle of it. The second most important thing is the moon, which is represented by a crescent. I drew a little moon pointing to it. And the third most important thing is the sign that is coming up over the eastern horizon. That is what's rising, the rising sign or ascendant, which is right here. So this line that the pencil is going across represents the horizon on Earth. So I drew a sunrise over here and sunset over there. Might be a little difficult to distinguish between the two. But the ascendant tends to confuse people. Sun and moon, not confusing. You can look at them. So if you think about where the sun rose in the morning, maybe you didn't notice, but all you have to do is look east. And any compass can tell you where east is. So during the day, you can't see what stars are coming up over the eastern horizon. At night, you can. But of course, astrology no longer actually follows the stars. The stars were applicable about 5,000 years ago, but that's neither here nor there. So the sun, right now, as of today, at 1:11 in the afternoon, the sun is in the sign of Virgo, which is represented by that M shape with that little curlicue at the end that represents a sheaf of a grain of wheat. The sun being in this sign tells you that it's late summer. Virgo is the sign of the third sign of summertime. Summer begins here, goes through Cancer, Leo. Now we're at the end and we're getting ready. This is the autumn equinox here between Virgo and Libra. So wherever your sun sign is, that's if you're looking at your own chart, that's the most important point, because life begins with the sun, with sunlight. The sun in the sign of Virgo, I mentioned it was the last sign of the season. So it is a mutable sign, and Virgo is Earth. So this is mutable Earth. There are other Earth signs. One is a cardinal Earth sign, and one is a fixed Earth sign. So Virgo is mutable Earth, and that tells you that it's very practical, but also very clever and changeable. So this isn't stone. This is productive Earth. This is where the grains come from. The sun sign being here and being in this house right here. Now I mentioned 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. The 9th house belongs to the 9th sign, which is Sagittarius. So this is a house of travel over water. This is the house of adventuring, wandering, learning experiences gained in a practical way. So if a person had been born with this chart, they would be a practical sort of person, but probably also just really enjoy travel and gain a lot from meeting people who are from foreign countries. So you have this combination, Virgo, but also with a Sagittarius flavor. So looking down here at the moon sign, the moon is the next most important point on a person's chart. And the moon right here is in the sign of Aquarius, which, don't be fooled, Aquarius is an air sign. It is not water. Pisces is water, because Pisces is fish. Aquarius is the bringer of water. Aquarius is the sign of the sky. So that's where the clouds come in and rain on you. But it is not necessarily, it's still of the sky and of the air. So Aquarius being a fixed sign, because it's the middle of the season, winter begins here. This is the first sign of winter, this is the second sign of winter, and this is the third sign of winter, and then winter ends. So we're in the middle, which is fixed. So we have here fixed air. Now fixed usually means wanting to stay on course, not wanting to adapt, not wanting to get things started, but picking up the way that has always gone and keeping on in that path. So this is a very heady, very thinking kind of sign, which is kind of difficult for your moon, because your moon is it pulls on your water, pulls on your emotional self. The moon represents how you nurture and take care of yourself. How do you nest? How do you make a safe place for yourself to be at home? Well, fixed air likes to experiment with things. So this is a home sign where you want to experiment. Not necessarily comfortable. Not comfortable at all, in fact, for a lot of people. Can be enjoyable. But so the moon in Aquarius is the next most important point on this chart. The third most important point is the Ascendant. So this is, at the moment that this chart was called at 1:11 in the afternoon, what was coming up over the eastern horizon was the section of sky that belongs to Sagittarius. So if this, you remember that this was the end of summer, this is the end of autumn. Autumn begins here with the sign of Virgo. So you begin autumn, and then you come here. The middle of autumn is Scorpio. The end of autumn, all the way up to Christmas Day, is going to be right about here. No, going to be right about there. This is the last sign of autumn. Of course, we're just talking about what's happening during the day. This sign in the sky, this section of sky, was rolling up over the eastern horizon, and so it was rising. Sagittarius being similar to what we were talking earlier about. The sun was in the house that belongs to Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is also rising. So you have two influences from Sagittarius there. You've got the sun being in the house that belongs to Sagittarius, and then you have the actual sign of Sagittarius coming up over the eastern horizon. Well, the eastern horizon, as the Ascendant, it imprints on you in a superficial sort of way. This is your operating system. It's not who you are. Who you are is this Virgo up here at this moment. But this is what you're going to use to present yourself. So this is your personality and ego. Not your destiny, not your soul, but instead how you appear and how you communicate with the world at large. So at this moment, Sagittarius rising, taking a exploratory view on the world, happy-go-lucky, let's see what's going on, let's go learn stuff. After those three big things, the sun, the moon, and the Ascendant, you also have things like the Descendant, this heavy line right here, which is the Imamculai, and the, oh, I don't remember what MC stands for. We call it midheaven. So this is where the sun would be at noon. Obviously, I was taking this photo right at noon. This is daylight savings time, so this is actually just a few minutes after noon today. And then this is where the sun will be at midnight. So we've covered a great deal of information here, but those are the big three things whenever you're looking at your chart. All these other things are extra. Sun, moon, rising. Pay attention to those first. We'll look at this chart again next week. Thank you for joining me, and be well.